I was in my office when a certain girl, a frail 16-year-old girl carrying a baby, is walked in hesitantly. Within just 5 minutes of her presence in my office, the entire space was overwhelmed by an intense odor, a mixture of persistent body odor and distinctly foul smell that permeated the air. Her tattered clothes were visibly dirty and emitting a strong, unpleasant smell. The young girl was carefully holding a baby, and I noticed that her garment was torn and broken in at least 3 different places, exposing her vulnerability. With a gentle tone, I asked her, "Who is the father of this child?" She lowered her eyes and responded that she honestly doesn't know, explaining that during the period when she became pregnant, she had been forced to sleep in various different places for shelter. So she couldn't identify or pinpoint any specific person as the father of her child. He continued my questions. "Where did you come here from?" She mentioned a location in Lorengobi with a soft voice. "That's where I come from," she added quietly, fidgeting with the edge of her torn garment. "Where's your mother?" I inquired. "I'm hoping to find some family connection." She looked up with empty eyes and replied, "I don't know anybody called mother. I was only 9 months old when I was told my mother abandoned me and had gone away. Since then, I'm now 16 years old and I have never known my mother." Sensing her complete isolation, I asked, "Where are you staying now? Where's your father?" She responded flatly, "My father is dead." The matter-of-fact way she delivered this news suggested she had long accepted this reality. "So where are you currently staying?" I pressed gently. She explained, "There's one elderly woman in Gobi who claims to be a distant relative of my father. She's about 80 years old, and I've been staying with her in her small dwelling." Trying to understand her immediate situation, I asked, "So what brings you here to my office now?" She shifted uncomfortably before revealing, "The Landlords Association in their residential area recently held a meeting. They called me to stand in the middle of their gathering and announce their decision, saying, 'Okay, you and this your bastard child that you are carrying around, we are giving you exactly 7 days. Leave this area immediately. If after these 7 days we still see you anywhere around here, you will deeply regret it.'" Her voice trembled slightly as she continued, "I now have only 7 days remaining to leave, the only place I've known as home, and I genuinely don't know what to do with my life or where to go from here." Curious about the reason for such harsh treatment, I asked, "Why are they so determined to drive you away from Gakobi?" She answered with brutal honesty, "On that entire street, there is not a single house I haven't broken into to steal something. I'll sometimes break down the door, or I will find a way to enter through an unlocked window. I steal small trinkets. I steal any jewelry like rings I can find. I repeatedly steal. I enter homes to find anything that might help feed myself and to provide food for my baby." With a sense of desperation in her voice, she asked, "Will coming to you solve my overwhelming problem?" And I responded thoughtfully, "I don't know with certainty if it will completely solve your situation or not, but seeking help is precisely where we all must start in difficult circumstances." She said, on day 6 of the 7-day ultimatum, she gathered all her worldly possessions, both her personal items and those belonging to her baby, and meticulously packed everything into a single nylon bag, with nothing left to do but wait for the inevitable. She sat down quietly in the parlor, her hands resting nervously on her lap, contemplating the uncertain future that awaited her. This is day 6. She whispered, and her voice barely audible as she spoke, by this time tomorrow, we don't know what will happen to us or where we might end up. The countdown is almost complete, and our faith hangs in the balance. While she sat there in contemplative silence, the stillness of the moment was suddenly interrupted by a firm knock at the door. The sound startled her from her thoughts. Moments later, a well-dressed man in a professional suit entered the humble dwelling and formally introduced himself as a lawyer. His unexpected presence filled the small room with an air of authority and purpose. Ramoke immediately tensed up, her body visibly trembling with fear and apprehension. Could it be, she thought aloud, her voice quivering with emotion, that the landlords won't even allow the full 7 days to expire before forcibly removing me from this neighborhood? Have they sent legal representation to expedite my eviction? As her anxiety mounted and her body continued to shake uncontrollably, the lawyer raised his hand in a calming gesture and said, "Please, relax. I've been actively searching for you for quite some time.